He's gone from the shit house to the penthouse, hasn't he? I mean, he wasn't very popular, was he? Now he's arguably the most popular player on the tour.
We're all coming to the end of the road, so to speak, but...
Sharpen that shovel, will you, for Ricky? You should have kept quiet there. We're just coming out with that, you gobshite.
Well, lads, Christmas special, as you can probably tell by our hats. You look good in yours.
That's fancy dress. Pantomime season.
The Grinch.
Have you just...
Right, lads, so we are going to have a little reflection over the golfing year and go through, some of the highlights, majors and what have you.
The lowlights.
Lowlights, highlights, whatever they might be. Ricky, kick us off with the Masters. What you thought of it? Anything that stands out?
I mean, one of the standout moments for me there was the performance of that Ludwig Åberg, to be honest with you. I mean, first appearance, and he was there all the way through. I mean, obviously coming up against Scheffler, what do you say about Scottie Scheffler? I mean, he's a bit, at the moment, Tiger-esque, isn't he?
It's incredible, actually, isn't it? Because he is. I mean, his record's like that. But if you walk down a range and watched him hit a few balls, you wouldn't say, "Oh."
You wouldn't sort of
Been out with him a few times this year, and it's like, he's won 9 times this year, I believe. Which is, I think Tiger's the only other player to do it in modern golf. But to say the fella's breakdancing when he hits it, it's incredible how he's got the best distance control out of any player out there. It's like Westy used to be, Westwood in his heyday. As soon as it come off the club face, you knew it were like 10 feet, or 12 feet, or 15 feet. And Scottie just hits it to 10 foot every hole. He's just an incredible player.
He's just pin eye every time.
Yeah, and if he misses the green, his short game's dynamite. He's going to take some beating.
The commentators and whatever keep talking about how he's way behind on putting and he's not a good putter. And all. How do you win? I'm sorry, how do you win 9 times if you're not a good putter? You have to be a good putter.
Because he just keeps hitting it close all the time. I mean, Wesley wasn't a great putter when he got to number 1 in the world. They're so consistent and so on the money every shot. It's incredible. And like I said, Scheffler, if he misses the green, he chips in half.
To back up what Billy's saying, he's not holding putts from 50, 60 feet. I mean, when he's making putts, it's 12 foot and in, or that's how close he hits it. I mean, he's like he said, his distance control is unbelievable.
I watched a little collage one night of him where they were battering him about his putting, where he was just missing everything from 6, 8 feet. And then you look at his record and you go, well, how is he doing that? Like you say, he must be so good because he ain't. I think his putting has got statistically better, but he got to number 1 and he was winning all these tournaments, and he really was like below average in putting, and that's unusual. That is, you're all right. You might have picked the one other guy that might have done it in Westy, but generally, people that are winning tournaments and people that are at the top of order of merits are generally the best putters, as well as having a golf game, obviously. But you very rarely win tournaments.
I think another amazing stat is, if you look at the Masters, I think besides Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods, he is the third guy, the youngest, to win twice in 3 years.
Well, I think it's interesting what you say about his being pin eye all the time, because we all know Augusta, and if there's ever a golf course where distance control, a second shot golf course, if you like, where it was really important to get your ball, around pin eye a lot, that would be the course. And there you go, the guy that does it better than anyone else has won.
In previous discussions, when you look back, Augusta National, I mean, the wind swirls around in those valleys and through those trees. I mean, to try and pull the right club on that golf course is not the easiest thing in the world.
On a breezy day in certain areas of the golf course, like some of the course, even though it's pretty much tree lined everywhere, but a lot of it where it is. It's when you get in that amen corner in it, that's where it all goes wrong.
Listen, we've all caddied there many times, and if any caddy stands on that 12th tee and says they're 100% sure what's going on here, they know that they're in a Pinocchio movie, I'm telling you, because it's your best educated guess, isn't it?
You're absolutely kidding yourself there. I mean,
There's two people helped Scheffler massively. Obviously, Phil Kenyon's done great with him, turned his putting around, and the other one, who probably won't want to remind of it, is Rory. Because Rory was the one that came out, he should start using a mallet putter. And since he started using a mallet putter, his putting's been miles better. So, Rory, you've shot yourself in the foot there a bit, mate.
And that's an unusual thing, that, what you've just said there. If you go back in history and tell me another, like, world number one that helped the world number 2 or 3 out, that'd be a short list of the people that did that.
I never saw Ernie helping Tiger out or Tiger helping Ernie out. Never. That would never happen.
It didn't.
Or Phil Mickelson for that matter.
No. They'd quite happily help someone out who was, trying to keep their card. But not so.
It's like Seve with Tom Kite in that bunker. Have a look at my bunker player. Oh, it's very good, it's very good, Tom. Fantastic. Have a great week, my friend. And he walks away. He's really terrible, eh?
Was that not at Bay Hill, if I remember correctly?
It was at. I think it was at Muirfield, maybe, at the Open.
Seve didn't like him anyway, did he?
Seve had his gripes with all Americans because it was very much Europe against America back then. And he wasn't accepted when he first went to America, and they didn't make it easy for him. So he had his gripes, yeah, for sure.
Well, didn't like him. Might be a bit strong, but
anyway, going back to Scheffler, it is a case of thank God he done everything, because otherwise he'd be winning about 17 a year.
It'd be an absolute joke.
Well, I think the other amazing feat is he moves on from Augusta to Hilton Head Island and wins there at Harbour Town at Heritage.
The thing about him as well is, like, the players, he did the same. It's like when the going gets tough and he don't get off to a great start, he just slips into fourth gear. I mean, at the Masters, he birdied 8, 9, 10, and then he birdied
13,
14, 15, 16. Yeah, it's like...
Well, I've just seen he's just done it again this week. I just watched the...
Bahamas.
Yeah, the Tiger tournament, didn't he? Just got a little sniff early. I had a quick look at his card, I think. I didn't watch any of it, but I clicked to see the result. And then I looked at his card. And they're all hovering around the lead, and he makes a couple of birdies on the front 9, goes one clear, and then just goes something like 10, 12, 15, 16 tournament overdone.
Just slip into fourth gear, mate. See you. Look in the rear view mirror. Be seeing you.
It's his attitude, isn't it? Is his biggest. He does play like he don't care. Right, where we go after the Masters?
Well, it was PGA, wasn't it?
PGA.
Went to T-Bones.
Yeah, on the Sunday night you did, yeah.
Well, yeah, US PGA. I mean, he was there or thereabouts again, but there were a couple of mud balls which...
Well, he got shackled in car park, didn't he? Yeah. That was it, sort of like his rig got to a bad start, didn't it?
Yeah, but that didn't bother him either. Came out and shot 4 under or something out of Nick, didn't he?
And Ted Scott left on the Friday night for his daughter's graduation, and he took the local vicar or whatever to carry on the Saturday, and amazingly didn't play great. And then Ted came back on Sunday, played good again. It's like there's something in them. So I'm going to start going to Bible class.
But we should be talking about.
But Xander Scheffler, I mean, he played phenomenal there, I thought. I mean, he's always tee to green. He's always been on the ball, But I mean, I think DeChambeau sort of pushed him all the way there, didn't he?
Yeah, the bearded lady of the circus came back, didn't he? And good to see him back. Yeah, he's gone from the shit house to the penthouse, hasn't he? I mean, he wasn't very popular, was he? Now he's arguably the most popular player on the tour. Yeah. In the spectators' eyes, what he's brought to the game is amazing. And yeah, he's done great, and it's good to see him back.
But I mean, going back to Xander Scheffler, I mean, he's been knocking on the door for quite a few years now, and I think, he finally walked through the door and got the job done there. I mean,
you'd probably say outside Scottie Scheffler, he's arguably the most consistent player, isn't he? He's no weaknesses.
Yeah,
another one, his short game's incredible, and he's really streaky with putt. If he starts rolling a few putts, he seems to.
Again, though, his attitude. I mean, I'm skipping forward one, but when he won the Open, you'd swear he was playing a practice round on Sunday. The way and even after, like some people are good finishing off looking that way to finish off a tournament, and then when it's over and they've won it, they go crazy. But he got, thanks very much. Yeah, enjoyed that. It's like
monthly medal. Thanks for the game, lads. Right, I'm off.
Yeah, great attitude. Went away. Didn't he go away? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think didn't he have a little lull in the middle of the year because he went away and tried to get a bit longer. But he had done the right thing because eventually it did work, and he came back and he was hitting the ball. He was hitting the ball 20 yards longer off the tee. And then bang, you saw what happened. He knocks off 2 majors. So in the end, he was because he was getting questioned, and as they always do. Oh, he's gone away and he's tried to get a bit longer, and now he's struggling. And
that's what you need to do till after that performance on similar at St Andrews. You need to go away and get 20 hours longer.
So you wait to the next one when I'm bombing at 310 down there, Bill.
I'll be bombing at 180 by then. Don't you worry.
Let's just sort of move forward. Yeah. Well, I think the US Open,
the major of the year.
Yeah, out of all 4, I think that was the one that probably stood out, and maybe for the wrong reasons or the right reasons, whichever way you want to look at it. I think that'll be remembered of Rory's misdemeanors on, 15 or 16.
Did somebody win it or did somebody lose it, you mean? Well, here's the thing. Did you work that Open?
Yeah.
Right. Ricky and I weren't there, so I'm at home watching that on the telly. What I found unbelievable about that was I watched it on the Saturday. That 18th short hole, isn't it?
Yeah, it played short all week. It was downwind. It was firm, fast.
This is what I wanted. I don't know what Bryson did on Saturday, but I know for a fact that Rory hit some sort of probably a 3-iron or something.
3-iron and 9-iron.
And then only had. I remember he had something like 110 yards in or 120 yards in, right? So played it how the whole, I guess, is supposed to be played. But for whatever reason, while both being right there in contention, they both hit driver on.
I know it was
on the Sunday, and they were
actually
both in the shite. So what happened? Did wind change, or what? Was there a reason they did that? Why didn't they stick to their? But I don't know what Bryson was doing.
Know, but
like I mean,
listen, you look back at that, and 15 was a big hole for both of them. I think Rory was birdied 13, I think, to go 2 in front. Then Bryson birdied it, so Rory had a 1-shot lead as they were neck and neck. Then obviously 15's an upturned saucer, and really, front edge of the green is. If you're going to miss it, you need to be front edge of the green, because if you land it on top and the greens were firm, you went over and caught the back end of the saucer and down into the bushes, and that's, that's what Rory did. Obviously you're pumped up, your adrenaline's going, and he landed it a bit too far. It's gone over the green. The only place he couldn't go, and he finished in one of those little bushes, and it's like, what you can't explain to people at home is watching that live. You're thinking, I'll give him a 2 out of 10 chance of getting this on the green. Never mind getting anywhere near. Yeah. And he had a brilliant shot, and obviously to about 20 feet or whatever, made his bogey. So that was, but 16 was the turning point. Obviously, then Bryson 3-putted 15 from not very far, so he got away with that.
Yeah.
And then 16 was the big one. Rory's hit 2 good shots to, 25 feet, whatever, 30 feet maybe, and he's obviously rolled it 2 foot past or whatever it was. And you could see as soon as he missed that putt, it was almost like his hand were after it. It was like he was shocked, and it sort of like it rattled him. You could see it rattled him. You could tell by his demeanour it rattled him. And I don't know. You stand on that last tee and you're watching it, and you're just thinking, well, just hit a 2 or 3 iron and a pitching wedge or whatever, and he's pulled the driver. But that's that's his call, and that's right. He's aggressive.
But what I said,
Bryson did the same, like you said.
But people were asking me on the Monday at the golf club and that why would they have been hitting driver on 18 on that short hole that they didn't hit before? And I just said, well, obviously I don't know, I weren't there. I said, but normally what will happen in a tournament is you'll play to a number. So let's just say that number's 310. Well, if it's firm and downwind, that for them guys, a 4-iron will run out to 310. But I said something must have happened for the number to be playing a different number on the Sunday for them to do that. I don't know if it did or.
If it did, it's just.
If they'd have both hit the drivers perfect, they'd have probably been chipping the second one.
70, yeah. It's a strange.
It was. you look back and you know, well, Bryson won't look back in.
Well, he was in more trouble than Rory.
Of course he was. He got lucky. And the bunker shot he played, you could say everybody thinks, what an incredible bunker shot. And don't get me wrong, it was, because a 55-yard bunker shot is one of the toughest shots in golf. But that particular hole, he had to probably carry it 20 yards, but the front of that green, you land it over and it lands on the downslope and just shoots towards the flag. So all he had to do was sort of like half duff it out and land just over the false front, and it was always going to release up to the hill. Still a fantastic...
Duffing a bunker shot that lands exactly 40 yards is pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a brilliant golf shot. Yeah, of course it was. But he got lucky off the tee. Yeah. And Rory got unlucky off the tee, but, you know. And everybody thinks, oh, he missed a tapping at the last, but watching it live, you're just going, this is a horrible putt. 4 foot, downhill, snapping left to right, all the pressure of the world. He's just missed a short one on 16. Yeah. It was always going to be a really tough one. That actually looked like a decent putt. Just broke miles, didn't it? That broke miles, whereas the one on 16 was a I can't remember who were doing the commentary, but they said, oh, it's just left half. It looked as though it was about a cup outside the left.
Yeah. But we've been through this once before, but you know what Joe Public or, you know, your punter out there watching on TV, they don't get is the amount of pressure that's involved in a major. I mean, there's only 4 majors every year. So, you know, they don't come around that often. And the pressure in those events is completely different than any other golf tournament.
Of course, you're dead right. But Ricky, you know, both of those guys are very good at handling that pressure. You know, 99% of the time, I just think it gets shown up. You know, if Rory misses that putt on 16 on a Friday, a regular PGA Tour event, it's gone. It was only because it just happened to come. And I've seen him hit them putts before. You know, when it don't matter, it's just a poor stroke, but at the wrong time. If you look at the rest of it, you know, I don't think it came down to anyone being because Bryson hit a fantastic bunker shot under pressure. Rory recovered well from trouble under pressure. You know, shots that are very difficult under pressure. It just came down. I think, you know, it came down to what you said. I think that putt on 16 just if he'd have held the one on 16, but the situation was still the same on 18, he probably would have rolled that in.
Yeah, he probably would. Yeah.
Having missed the one on 16 would definitely have unsettled.
He also won on 16. He wins the tournament, doesn't he?
I mean, I just wonder what effect that would have on him moving forward. I mean,
well, I tell you, I think he's just gone and won the Order of Merit again in Europe. Yeah, fantastic performance. I know it's not a major, but very good field at the Earth Course there, Race to Dubai. Yeah. And I would say that, you know, if he was here sat talking to us, he'd be saying, yeah, I'm really happy with that and I'm looking forward to next year, and he'd be gagging to get to the Masters to try and I hope he does. I hope he gets that. There's nothing I'd like more than to see him complete that Grand Slam, because if ever there's a golf course that suits him as well, there it is. But it now suits quite a few of them, doesn't it? I mean, Bryson he regrets saying it now, I'm sure, but saying it was a par 66 or whatever and then shooting 78. But if he plays well, but if Bryson plays well, if Bryson hits the driver straight, what he said is actually right, because every par 5 is an iron for him. So they're not par 5s, they're par 4s. So if Bryson was in play on every hole for a week, if he just had his week, that he's had plenty of them on the Live Tour, I can assure you, I've watched a few of them, where he hits that driver dead straight and it goes as far as he does, that is a par 66 golf course for him. He's dead right.
That goes to say about any course. We go back to St Andrews, and if Bryson has a great day with a driver at St Andrews, he could drive 9 par 4s. Yeah. On any given day. Yeah. You know, it's
all lifts and butts. It's very hard. It's very hard to it.
Well, of course it is, but I mean, but that's golf courses now. They've just been absolutely made so short with the technology and the ball, and these guys just been bigger and stronger athletes than they've ever been. It goes back to the old discussion. It's about time we need to do something about it.
You look at the card on some of the golf courses, and people, you know, again, the punter at the golf club will go, oh, look, 480-yard par 4, then a 470-yard par 4, then a 500-yard par 4. Geez, that's long, isn't it? And you go, well, yeah, in yardage terms it is, but that's a wedge, and that's a 9-iron.
Yeah, you go to a US Open now and they're like 545 yards par 4. You know, you get 3 of them now, don't you?
Yeah.
All the par 5s are played off at front tee, and it's a par 4.
But amazingly, it's not driver 3 iron.
Oh no, it's still like driver 8 iron.
If they've got it at 7 iron, it's a long hole. If some of them players have to hit a 7 iron in the second shot into a par 4, you can rest assured that's a very, very long par 4.
Yeah. You know, 2 generations earlier, the same players are beating 3 irons in. You know,
Go back in history and look at, you know, Faldo winning the Masters and the playoff, the second shot into 10 and where they're hit it from and how long they're hitting it, and just a different golf course.
Well, if you move forward now to the Open Championship, again, Xander, I mean, he just played amazing that week, didn't he? I mean, you had, I think, Justin Rose was on his tail.
That would have been a story, wouldn't it?
And then South African boy, Tristan Lawrence.
yeah, what a player he is. He's raw talent. Him. He's obviously, we've played him a couple of times this year, and he's like, wow, what a player. To me, sometimes he's a bit too aggressive at times. You know, he needs to just pull the reins a little bit, but he's going to be a serious player over the next 10 years.
I think I've watched him a couple of times recently, and commentators commentating on him that say it's almost like he's set his stall out. That's the way I'm playing, and if it didn't work this week, then I'll just go to next week. But I'm going to hit lots of drivers.
He's got a wonderful putting stroke.
I'm going to go for all the 5s.
He's a serious player, the kid. But I'll tell you, we played with Shane Lowry the first 2 days at the Open this year, and I told everybody, he ain't getting beat. He was that good, Shane. He had a bit of a bad break on 11 the second round, and he ended up making double, but he was still leading, and I think the Saturday afternoon killed him. The weather got that horrendous on the Saturday afternoon. I mean, Fitz was on the driving range. It was unplayable. Like, and the fellas out there, I mean, they were hitting drivers and 3-woods into 17, the par 3, weren't they? It was like, it was a joke shop.
Yeah.
But, Shane lost it on the Saturday afternoon, but he played as good as anybody. I couldn't see him getting beat, but that's links golf. You know, you get that, you get them few holes where it's squalling and just horrible.
I'd actually tip him to win a major next year.
Shane,
yeah,
he's a great player, Shane.
Well, he might go and do it again at Port Rush.
He might do back to back.
Yeah, that is. I'm sure that'll be on his mind.
But Rosie did great, didn't he? You know, to say what's Rosie, I don't know, what is he, 43 or something?
What a story that would have been. And he handled it really well, didn't he, Rosie? It weren't like Rosie did anything wrong. That Xander did.
You look at Xander, I mean, around the turn, I think Rosie might have actually been leading going into the back now and then. Xander did a Scottie Scheffler and just rolled in 2 or 3 20-footers and just went birdie, par, birdie, whatever he did, and just pulled away 2 or 3 in front. But yeah.
But I mean, it would have been a fairy tale that Justin pulled through there.
Oh yeah, that would have been a story, all right.
Yeah, certainly didn't let himself down.
No, he never knows. Good, solid performance.
Yeah, there's always somebody steals it off you, and the magpie was Xander.
Yeah.
Always the same old faces, though, isn't it? You can talk about, he nicked it, he got unlucky, but the same old faces keep lifting them trophies, don't they?
No substitute for class, is it?
Well, cream always rises to the top, as they say.
Yeah. How was the Olympics, Bill? On to the Olympics. How was that? You were the only one again there. Yeah. He was the only one at any of these tournaments now.
Well, Ricky's in his wheelchair and you're on part-time with your walking stick, so I mean, mind you, I'm not far behind you, Till. Going to go part-time next year. Job share with Fitz next year. Yeah, the Olympics, it's one of those. In 2016, it was like, Olympics was in Brazil. I'm like, I couldn't imagine it was. Being at Brazil, Olympic Games, playing for no prize money and finished 4th, caddy all week. Thought you don't even get a bit of ribbon at all. It's like, caddy don't even get a medal. What are you going for? You know, waste of time.
Yeah.
Then they went to Japan, didn't they? 2020. I was like, nah, I'm not bothered. Fitz like, had a chance to, and I'm not bothered. Result. Don't want to be going there like. And this time it was like, the absolute red tape you got to go through with all the forms you got to fill in. They got the Olympic Games, drug testing, watching videos about this, you can't do this, can't do that. I'm like, oh my God. I had to go on a Zoom call. I went on a Zoom call and there's like all these Olympians and runners and Tom Daly's on, divers on the same Zoom call. And I'm like, what am I doing on this Zoom call? I'm a 58-year-old bloke carrying a golf bag. I'm not an athlete like these lot, you know. He starts going about drug testing. I said, listen, mate, before we go any further, I says, if 5 pints of lager and a bag of crisps is going to get me into trouble, you let me know now. And he just went, no, it's not. I could hear them all laughing in the background. I said, what am I on this call for? Like, you know, like, but when I went there, I thought, I'm going to hate this. But I have to say, having done it, all right, Fitz didn't play well. He pulled out after 3 rounds with a dodgy thumb that he'd injured catching a football on his stag do. Anyway, that's another story. But I have to say that it's like, there's 2 tournaments where you don't get paid. One's the Ryder Cup and the other one's the Olympic Games. And you'd have to say, outside the majors, if you asked any golfer what would they want to win, they want to represent the country in a Ryder Cup and they want to play Olympic Games. And once I went there, it had a major feel, but I couldn't believe how good it was. And every top player was on that leaderboard. You know, Rory had a chance, Matsuyama won it, Tommy were up there. Matsuyama was second, wasn't he? Scottie Scheffler won it again, didn't he? Of course he did.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he won another one, Yep. So, yeah, it was amazing, and the atmosphere was incredible. Massive crowds, Paris National, fantastic golf course. The whole vibe of it was, it was amazing, honestly. I was really glad I went in there.
Well, that's interesting to hear that, because a month before you said I couldn't be bloody arsed going to this
I didn't
place.
want to go there. I don't want to go there. But once I went there, I was like, oh my God, what an experience. You know, it was just a shame that we couldn't get to a lot of the other events like they did in Brazil or Japan. But this time it was more difficult. And I went to watch the swimming one night, the French guy that won all the golds. I watched him.
Did you get your costume on and have a try?
Yeah, if I'd have jumped in, there'd have been no water for the rest of them. So I mean,
It'd be like a John Smith's advert, wouldn't it? Top bombing.
yeah, cheers.
But getting back, I think it's people talk about money. I don't think the money thing is really what it is. It's because you're representing your country, right? Of course it is. If there was another tournament where it was 12 people against 12 people or something, but it didn't have you're playing for your country behind it, then they either wouldn't play or they'd play for money.
I did something I hadn't done in years, and I went out to watch Tommy the last few holes because he obviously had a chance to win.
Yeah,
so I walked around, watched Tommy the last few holes, and we're waiting for him when he finished, and
brilliant, yeah.
And he's there getting his silver medal. It was kind of cool. It was
exactly
really,
what
really
I
nice,
think I'd have done if I was out of it, and one of the British boys had a chance. You go and support, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. So tell, the way this live panned out this year. So you had the Rippers winning the team event, and then the individual was down to John Rahm and Jaco Neiman. Mm-hmm. So it became quite exciting at the end there.
Oh, yeah.
I would think. Yeah. Let alone we still have not moved on here with this merger. 2 years down the road, nobody still knows what's going on. But
I don't think anybody does. Whatever happens, and let's just hope that.
But what is your take on the way Liv finished up this year?
I thought it was a good season this year. I thought that race coming down to, probably they were the 2 best players of the year. Coming down to the last tournament and the last round, head to head, I think that was pretty exciting. The team event thing, I think went a bit. Well, it was nearly won by the Ironheads, who going into it had not done anything all year. It just shows you that when you do get to that team event at the end of the year, even if you haven't had the greatest season as a team, you have a chance. If you can get through that first day and then just start winning your matches, you could have done nothing all year and still win the team thing. So that creates a little bit of a, all right, reset back. Now it's all about the team for that week, because obviously the other 13 tournaments, while you're all playing for your team, it's really, you're playing as 4 individuals and then the scores get added together to make. But that team event is a match play one that's purely about this team against this team, and that team's gone through, and now they play this team, and you get an eventual team champions. Which
I would imagine it'd be a bit like the old Dunhill Cup, so you get a team like you might have had America, who were Tiger Woods, John Daly, and Curtis Strange or whatever would it have been back then. They're playing 3 lads from India not a chance. Sometimes.
Yeah.
The
I
underdogs
think one of them.
beat the big fish.
I can't remember what it was, but I know that Kevin Na beat someone he's probably not likely to beat, and then the young Japanese lad in the side did exactly the same, and all of a sudden, they're through. You know, so yeah, it's there's definitely some giant killings.
FA Cup.
Definitely some giant killings to be had there.
And I think a great thing, as far as Liv is concerned, is that for them to have a major winner.
Yeah.
You know, as I think previous year, Brooks.
Yeah, Brooks could have won the Masters, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean...
Well, the thing is, what you've got to remember,
PGA,
the only ones that are actually getting in, or you can qualify for the Open and the US Open.
yeah.
So you can go to qualifying, anyone can get themselves. But, you know, a lot of these players have got to go right back to the beginning of where there used to be an exempt, you know, into the certain stage of it. But now, because of earning no world ranking points for whatever it is, 3 years, a lot of guys have got to go right back to the pre-qualifier to get in the qualifier and to get it right. So you can qualify for them two. The other two is still world ranking based qualification.
Yeah, unless you finish sort of
So the
top
only
five
guys-
in the other
yeah.
majors, which gets you
The
in.
only guys that are getting in them are guys that are either playing a full schedule outside of Live somewhere.
Yeah.
I know Joachim got in a couple because he won in Australia, and I think somewhere else, and that got him into one or two of them. But there's not many Live players that are actually playing these majors, which is going back to what you said. If they're ever emerge and we can all start again, you hopefully you'll see more of that. Because all you really want to do is see the best players at the majors.
Absolutely.
And 100%, whatever side of the fence you're on, if you look at the major fields, there's one or two missing in every single one of them. How do you feel this 19th Uncut podcast has gone this year, boys?
Well, it's actually nice to catch up with you, Tel, because I don't see you anymore. So for the fact that I don't see Ricky anymore, don't see you
seen
anymore.
him for a few years.
So just the lads getting together, catching up on different parts of life and what we're up to. It's good to catch up. I think it's been quite different for the Billy Bunters of our subscribers. Thank you very much for tuning in and following us. And I know as language ain't great sometimes, so it sort of like poisons people watching us. But so we've got to watch his language, you pair of twats, all right? So
Just need a few of them to click that button, help us out a little bit, don't we? A few more subscribers.
well, listen, you're getting honest.
What started as a little chat.
Yeah, but I mean,
three of us.
if he opened his mouth when he went to Elland Road, maybe we'd get some more subscribers. I mean, come on.
Now, listen, it's you're getting honest appraisal of what actually goes on behind the scenes, watching us lads talking. Because listen, we're never going to be PC friendly, are we? So, and everybody now is scared to say things, but we're not really, are we? So, you know, and we'll probably get into trouble somewhere down the line. But people want to hear the truth, don't they? So,
Yeah, but I'd just like to thank both of you. You know, it's great to reminisce about the past and, you know, the journey we've been on over all these many years, decades now. You know, we're all coming to the end of the road, so to speak. But
sharpen that shovel, will you, for Ricky?
But out of nowhere, we've got a few guests wanting to come on and have a chat to us. I mean, we had a good time up there at St Andrews,
we had some
seeing all them guys.
on, you know, and,
Got Rick Shields coming to see us later.
yeah.
Rick Shields coming to see us in a couple of episodes' time.
No, it's great to have Rick come on the show. It'd be
We got the lads from and they're all my buddies on Live that have started some sort of caddy school. So we'll get to hear about all that in a later episode. So no, I'm enjoying stuff like that. Just catching up with people, having a chat.
we're going to go to JCB when.
You're going to try? That'd be good. Yeah, we got the. I'll have to have a word. I'll have a word and see if we can get a pint in the Majestic Arms if we get to there.
We'll get 2 or 3 American caddies on. 2 or 3 American caddies and have a Ryder Cup face-off.
And then we can get Tyrrell on. He can drop a few F-bombs if he likes.
Well, you'll be welcome on our show, won't you, old Tiddle? Yeah.
We'll see. See if they want us along, and we'll have a chat to a couple of people there. Yeah, so look forward to it. There's a few good episodes coming up.
Yeah, I think we get a good few caddies on and a couple of players. It would be nice.
Ryder Cup special.
Yep.
Yeah, and then the majors. I think we'll if we're not there, we might do 1 or 2 between us. But if we're not there, we should we should certainly sit and watch it. And
Well, I'll be watching on the telly, won't I? In my wheelchair.
I'll be there for 3 of them unless I get sacked.
will you?
Meant to be the Masters, the Open and the US Open. Not going to do the US PGA, allegedly, as I sit here, but we'll see.
Right. What about when do you start next year?
I'm starting on December the 28th.
Oh, yeah.
Like, in 10 days or whatever it is.
Where's that?
It's Caddie's favourite course. Maui! No!
Oh, God, yeah, I've done that one.
But walking upside of that volcano, that might be my last event. I say it might be passing me that spade.
So what are you doing up until then?
I'm going to do a job share with Dan Paddock next year, but Dan's on holiday in Dubai with his family, so I've taken one for the team already, and I'll go to Hawaii, and then Dan's going to do California, and I'll do Florida.
And what about leading up to that? What are you doing Christmas? You at home?
I'm going skiing till.
Oh, are you? You're going to Austria?
Going to Austria, going to skiing.
I'm going in February. You're going to go in February or
I
not?
might do.
I might see you there in February. What about you? Home here?
No, I'm off to South Africa tomorrow night. I'm going on safari. In the middle of the bush.
That sounds awful.
Make sure you don't get harpooned.
Just as long as those lions don't have me for breakfast, I'll be all right.
They can't eat that much. They'll let her throw you at buses and come back for you tomorrow. Merry Christmas, Till.
Merry Christmas, Bill.
Merry Christmas, Richard. Merry Christmas, viewers. Keep subscribing.
All the best.
Respect. All the best.
Press the subscribe button quickly.
You sound desperate now. Dilly.